Well, bless morning, Prince folks. I'm going to do read a really good lesson. Should have been for yesterday evening, even though this is the morning of July 16th. But I want to rewind to last night because I just read it now. And this is guard against greed. Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. And that comes from Ecclesiastes 5 and 10. This is when Solomon was running around saying that life is meaningless under the sun. Solomon was messing. He was doing great. He just finished the book of Proverbs. He even had that fine Queen Sheba come over and observed him from Ethiopia or Africa. Can't remember. I think it's Ethiopia. But he had it going on, and then he had it going down. He let pride humble him, and he was messing with all these adulterous women, and then he went downhill from there. But he reached a point to where he was fixing to go. He was maddening in Ecclesiastes. And also with wisdom, God added riches to him. So keep in mind, Solomon had everything, but he had a void because of greed. Greed comes in many forms. Greed has approval, greed for applause, greed for status, greed for the best office, the finest car, the prettiest date. Greed has many faces, but speaks one language, the language of more, 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 more. When you think greed, you think money, but a lot of greed can be in anything. Epicurus noted, "Nothing is enough for the man to whom enough is too little." And pretty much most of us know this next guy, J.D. Rockefeller, especially elders. And what was the observation of John D. Rockefeller's? He was asked, "How much money does it take to satisfy a man?" He answered, "Just a little more." He's like one of the richest dudes ever. Just a little more. He was greedy for more. Wise was the man who wrote, "Whoever loves money never has money enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income." Once again, Ecclesiastes 5 and 10. Greed has a growling stomach. Feed it, and you risk more than budget busting debt. You risk losing purpose. Amen to that. And Max Lucado's question of the day is: describe some of the faces of greed that you have observed. What are the results of such greed? Um, for some reason, the Lord hit me with, I think, me wanting to be loved by a woman. I was too greedy for that to happen. Therefore, I won't say none of the girlfriends that I had since I was 14 were hoes. That's not cool. That's not right. I would say they were promiscuous. And therefore, when they got with me, no matter how short lived it was, and they were short lived, because it's not a relationship, it's lust. I would say it goes both ways. I'm not gonna call a girl a hoe because us dudes we got dongs, but yet we try to hop around as much as we can when you're younger, unless you got God sense to you. Then you do what's right. You get with the woman. You take your time, you treat her like a gentleman, and then you get married, and then you hit the bed. But honestly, I don't know no men that do that anymore as well as women. But so I'm not gonna call the women a name, and because the men, what do you call manho? I would rather just say promiscuous, which means you've had a lot of partners throughout your time until you get married, or you're just still living that way. But to me, that's the greed the Lord struck me with, and it was the greed of me wanting to be loved, choosing the wrong ones all that whole time. I would honestly say maybe one got away, maybe two. One got away that I thought about, but I noticed that she went to a man that is a very good husband to her, and they got kids, and life seems to be pretty joyful from her side. Can't really think of the other one. I'm not going to say who they are. But when I met Annie, I met the one that was right for me. But yet, Annie left on me too with another guy, and I about killed him. And that's where I say greed right here. What are the results of each greed? The greed for me to want to find a woman to be married to got me in trouble because I rushed it. Right when I thought everything was great, I'm in such love. Me and Annie are all that. That's when she left, and it crushed me, and greed humbled me. Greed turned into a need, and the Lord fully equips you for everything you need. And what I need now is what I have, which is peace that surpasses all understanding. Because I buried her I buried her December 30th, 2021. She had crossed the stars, but our marriage was reconciled in that 6 years. So greed, like I said, and turned into the need. And the need, the Lord knows that our needs bow before Him in heaven, on earth, and under the earth. And because we bowed before Him together, everything was put back the way it should have been. So to me, that's what I have about greed. And that's it. Be blessed. You're on your journey today, folks. Don't let greed get a hold of you. I didn't know greed could be a little bit more than money. I mean, I kind of did, but this focuses more on greed beyond money.